What's up, Internet? We are here once again in the rain, getting excited for, of course, the most beloved of all things, gyroids, coming to town soon. I have to throw these letters out as much as I don't really want to, but on the bright side, we'll be able to sell some fossils to Mr. Good Old Tom Nook, which is always nice. What mail is this from? That's from the HRA. Home on the range is what it said, but that's not what that stands for, I don't think. Hey, garden gnome, which I do believe was the thing we didn't get from that creepy Tom Nook lottery. So, I think we've got a mission today. We need to go find a garden gnome, but, of course, we've got other stuff to do first. So let's go do some other stuff. What do we have for shirts? Fortune shirt. Does it come with fame? Or is it just fortune? It's just fortune. What does a painter's smock look like? I figured a painter's smock would have like more dabs of all sorts of colors instead of like this weird purple cross pattern. Huh. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Oh. Okay, that's not my shirt. That's why. I was thinking, okay, I'm trying to get this into my character. Why can I not put it on my character? What's wrong? It's not a shirt, it's just a shirt. Oh, we'll have to deliver that today, I guess. Alright, there's good old Mr. Nook. So first things first, let's get ourselves some fossils. Plop this one out. Plop this one out. And finally we're going to plop this one out. So we got a fossil. We have a paperweight and another paperweight. Not an unexpected end result, but not one I wanted either. We can get rid of that, get rid of that, and these three. Still got some decent bells out of that though, so that's a good start. Let's see what we got up here. I mean, I think we have all these shirts, although this one is rather nice, but I already bought it, so I don't need another one. We do, of course, need more flowers, though, so let's go buy some. I shall buy this, and I shall buy these pink cosmos, and I will buy some red tulips. And I will come across some pansies. And finally, some pansies. I think that's all we'll need from at least this Tom Nook on this day. Now, I think it said that treasure was in Acre E4. Also, I found the ball. So we'll have to look at E4. Still no new villagers. Not that that's a surprise, but I gotta check every day. Because, you know, hopefully someday someone will actually want to join this place. It's very tourist-friendly super garden. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe everyone's just afraid of having too much tourism and just doesn't want to live here because of that. I mean, I guess I get it. I wouldn't want to live in a place that's just crammed wall-to-wall with tourists. Our town is too good for new villagers, is what that says. How are things? Perfect! Good. That's always encouraging to hear. Maybe we'll find a coelacanth. That'd be pretty cool. I think we found a coelacanth. That's pretty cool. Now we have to actually, you know, catch it though. Come on, Mr. Coelacanth. Come on. Yeah! Got ourselves a coelacanth. Right on. That's like 10,000 bells right there. And we still haven't really done much today. Alright, so E is this acre, so we gotta look for E4. Also, there's something we can dig up, which is likely a fossil, but who knows. I found it. I guess it was in E3. That's okay. Get rid of this. Let's see if we find more coelacanths on our trip back to sort of our house area. Because of course we have to go visit the next town over, get more flowers, if nothing else. I think Wendell might be in town today as well, which would benefit if we brought ourselves a fish to him. Such as the worst fish of all time, the sea bass. What a coincidence! A sea bass! Right on. Alright, now we're good for Wendell whenever that is, which I'm pretty sure again is today. Glad I remembered that. That's not a coelacanth, although we can check again later. Let's see if Wendell's in today. Alright, E2. I know where that is. Oh, he actually got some wallpaper from Wendell. Good for you, Copper. You're finally taking part. He, like, never gets to experience anything this game has to offer, which is kind of a shame. Alright, Wendell should be around here, I think. Maybe he wants to partake in our almost complete museum. He's an artist, after all. Maybe he needs inspiration. Let's not give him the coelacanth. I would probably have to throw myself off a cliff if I did that. I still feel like there should be an extra comma in that statement. His favorite is fish, not that it's his favorite fish. Because every fish is his favorite fish, evidently. Alright. Let's see what we got from our old pal Wendell. A mortar wall. I think that's that just sort of generic red brick wall. That it doesn't look too good, but we'll see. On our way back home, we shall test this theory out. Oops. We have to go meet our old pal, Mr. Glowy Spot. Get some free bells. Not many, mind you, but some. Get rid of that weed. Our town's a little bit nicer. Okay, so let's test some stuff. For example, what does this mortar wall look like? I think it's the... Yeah, that actually kind of works with the Zen Garden look, but I think I like the Lunar Horizon better. Just looks a little bit more calming, which is the whole point. Now let's take a look at the Garden Gnome. Well, we didn't win it from Nook's Lottery, but the world decided to give it to us anyway. This thing is stalking me. It is a creepy stalker gnome. I knew it from the moment I saw it. Alright. Well, we can sell that in the next town over, so it's time to go meet the gatekeeper and the person no one ever wants to deal with, good old Rover. And I'm gonna have some water so that my throat doesn't close up on me. Because hydration is important. Alright, so now we just have to go and see if the other town has any neat stuff going on. And then maybe catch some more coelacanths, because why not? Huh. Getting on the train sound supersedes the clock ringing sound. That's interesting. I didn't think anything would supersede that, seeing as it even rings indoors, although it's a muffled version of it. We learned something today, I guess. I gotta draw a face for the cat who lacks a face that needs to be drawn. And I don't know what to do for it this time. She's a Blue's Clue. I know what we need to do. Alright. The problem with having to design a face on the fly is kind of annoying, because, like, you know, I don't always have the creative spark to know what I want to do for it. Also, trying to actually use this thing with a freaking control stick is not exactly accurate. Alright, now we gotta go. That. And then we gotta put one right about here. There. Now she really is a Blue's Clue. My day's been busy. Working on reviews and stuff for the channel. How's your day been? You know, it's funny, if you get rid of like the middle paw pad, that actually just looks like a face. Just blue. I just realized that. That could have actually been a sensible face for a minute. Alright. Nooks is open, that's a good sign. So first things first. Oh, nice. So that's coelacanth, and make a crap ton of bells. It pays to find coelacanth on rainy days. Alright, anything up here I want to buy that I don't already own? Not really. I still find it weird that shirts are the only thing gated to, like, seasons, though. Alright. Well, we visited Nooks. We'll have to be back for flowers later. But, got some more paper. We can sell that later. It's not raining here, which means, of course, that we can go look for gyroids, which is good. Okay, I've got plenty of paper. That's not a problem. Gotta deliver this to Camo Frog. Alright, that's where we're going then. I don't think there's any special villagers at the moment. Doesn't look like anyone has moved out. Just like no one's moved into my actual town. Again, I think people are just intimidated by how awesome that town is. Camo Frog should be down here. Is there anything going on? Ah, Sahara. For the 5th, so 2 days from now. I find Sahara to probably be like the least useful of all the special people. Yeah, there's a limit to how many villagers you can have in your town at once, that's for sure. Oh, that's not bad for Camo Frog, I kinda like that. The problem is you are supposed to lose a villager every time you travel to another town. But both my towns have all the same villagers, so my other town never loses any villagers and this one never gains any. In fact, this town has 15 villagers. But my other town can't gain any, it's only got like 6, and it's sad because most of them just fall asleep before I ever actually get to play. There's a fossil. Making use of all that paper we saved from yesterday now. Gulliver! We'll finally get that last thing we need from him. I think you just fell asleep on a jellyfish again, Gulliver. Popping the poop deck. It's a joke I'm not allowed to hear because our character's too young. Please be like the one thing I need from you. Good old bacon eyebrows, the seagull. because I'm sick of getting the Arc de Triomphe and Tokyo Tower and all that nonsense. I don't even really want it. I just want to kind of complete the collection as best I can. I don't think he gave us a merge sign. A stone coin. Interesting. I don't think we've got that. But that's not what we were looking for. We were looking for, like, the Chinese lion. Because we have the lioness, but not the lion. Or vice versa. Still, something new to add to the overall catalog. That's kind of nice. Come on. What the hell? Hey, Clue Clue Land. Badass. I mean, I have a copy already, but still. Oh yeah, there was also that version of Clue Clue Land you could only get with a code in this game. That was like, the Famicom Disk System Clue Clue Land versus. Which they renamed for this version if I recall. Still. It's always nice to get more Famicom games. Kind of wish they'd still let us get, like, you know, the 4 good ones that they cut out of the game, but still. The fact that they gave us any extra games in here at all is kind of nice, especially considering that the modern Animal Crossing games don't. Although I think the original N64 version had a completely different set, although it's been a while since I played that version. Does no one have anything for me to do today? I mean, I could just hunt dragonflies, I guess, but they're not worth anything. Also, where is Quetzal? He's nowhere near his house. Hey, glowy spot. Yes, please. I'll take 1,000 bells. Alright. Please tell me you've got something for me to do, Spike, because no one seems to want me to do anything. I'm pretty sure, like, at any time there's supposed to be, like, 5 or so things for you to do in town, but I keep running into, like, these weird moments where just everyone has nothing for me to do. That could just be because of how many people we have in our town, though, of course. Not a thing for Chow, but perhaps Goldie. With her red shirt that I designed way back when. I think that's supposed to be a reference to something, but it's genuinely been so long since I made that I can't remember. From Sphere Bizarre Alien Fruit Cat Hybrid. Maybe Tangy's got something for us. This is getting bizarre. I mean, we've gone through almost everyone in town at this point. Still haven't found any more gyroids either, which kind of sucks. Get rid of that. Although we did find Clue Clue Land. I guess there's that. I don't want to talk to Weber ever again, but here we are doing it, I guess. Weber, you can move out, that's fine. I will help you move out if that's what you want, Weber. You carry all the heavy stuff, and I will carry all the stuff that isn't heavy. Or, you know, I could just go talk to Pierce about an outdated medium. That works too, I guess. Get rid of this. Alright. Down here. And... oh no. You're mean, Cookie. You're just horrible to people. Pierce has a really nice, snazzy house. One I wouldn't really peg for a jockish character to have. Alright, let's take this to good old Weber. And maybe he'll leave once he finally has his videotape. We can all hope. Because he's Weber, and no one likes him. Someone did in fact bury Clue Clue Land. We already have the ivory piano, so there's no new stuff for us to find other than that. Still a pleasant surprise, though. Let's see. I really hope Weber hasn't teleported off, as villagers tend to do. I did bring the videotape back. I don't know how you couldn't sleep soundly without a videotape. That seems like a really uncomfortable pillow. Okay, this is the terrible acre of terribleness. Maybe Cube has something. Or we can just tell him we found his Clue land. Can I bring you something to eat? I could if you like. Okay, or I guess I'm not going to bring you something you would like to eat, and I'll just go get you a handkerchief. Maybe you eat handkerchiefs. You seem like a strange penguin. Why not? Alright, let's go up here to the left. And see if good old Kaisar has the handkerchief of probably very grossness at this point. Not in. That presents a problem. Because he doesn't normally leave his home acre. Let's see if we get something free because they're happy. Always talk to villagers when they're happy. That is not true, I believe, but I'm gonna just say yes to make him happy. Maybe Cookie will give me something free. Aww. Well, she's still happy even though she's got chores. Well, the important thing is you find something that you're passionate about and you try and do that. There he is! Hiding in the trees. He's being a big sneaky ape. Please tell me you have the handkerchief. Okay, we're gonna go back down to Camo Frog's and then he'll say that Pierce has it and then we'll have to run back to the other corner. I've already run to one corner of this freaking map. Time to go back, I guess. Out of the way, Goldie. Down here. Camo Frog with his very snazzy getup. It's not a cool shirt, though. You live right next to him. Just give it to him. The way this game is designed is very confusing at times. Here you go. Your next door neighbor had it. That's not even enough to buy one piece of fruit. Oh, Cube, you're killing me. Oh. I still think they should, like, have flagged some of the rewards in this game a little better. Game Boy from Quetzal. I don't know where Quetzal is, but we'll go look for him. Well, that's the weird thing. Whenever you talk to a villager who has something, they say, could you deliver it back to X? So they know where it came from initially, which is the weird thing. So there's really no excuse for him not to have... That's Ace. You're not the big bird I need to talk to. So it's just sort of strange that they don't really ever just give it back to the person, especially if they live next to him. You were scoping out Pierce's pad from a distance. You're jealous he's stealing your style, Quetzal. Alright, let's get this back to Chow. Alright. That was a decent sized fish. That might have been a catfish or a barbell steed with my luck. I don't really want to test it though, because barbell steeds are worth basically nothing. Catfish are worth slightly less than next to nothing. There you go, Chow. Because everyone should possess their Game Boy. No Game Boy should be sad and alone. That's just not right. You're just getting nothing but crappy rewards there. We've got 3 sets of paper, 400 bells. It's just sad. Maybe they're just jealous for a copy of Clue Clue Land. See if Goldie has something for us. I know Pearl. She's been living in my town for 6 months. I can deliver it. But I don't know why you would ever lend out a watch. That just seems like one of those things that you wouldn't ever give out. Like organizers or handkerchiefs. There's just certain personal boundaries associated with those items. Maybe Ace needs something now. Nope. His mind, like always, is completely blank, like a typical jock villager. Ah, Quetzal already did a thing. Kinda wish I had the ability to just scale the cliffs like all these villagers seem to. Oh no. Pierce has his terrible circus shirt again. Ugh. I think that's Cookie's default outfit as well. So they just went back to what worked, I guess. Maybe Pierce needs something. Nope. Are they gonna end up making each other mad again? Nope. Now they're friends again. These two are a very finicky couple. No. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to pretend I know what that is. I do not know the Chinese zodiac too well. Oh, well, it's still probably more than I'd get if I sold that to Nook, so sure. But I really wanted the 3,000 bells. Yay! Well, that was quite fortuitous. Stupid. Eh. I got a dragonfly, why not? I think Velma was around here. Thought I saw her. That's the trick about Velma. She likes to disappear a lot. She's tricky like that. But there's always the weird pink donkey lady. Donkey lady! I know what that means. She needs a ball. And conveniently, there's one right here. There you go. I hate ball quests because they're terrible, but that one just kind of worked out for us. You had one in your front yard, Peaches. It didn't take me too long to get it to you. I'll take a modern wall. It was already yours. Or, well, maybe we stole it from Velma. I was never here. Hey, there's the train. How much space do we have? Not a ton. I can maybe do 1 or 2 more quests. Perfect job. That's the perfect job. Uh-oh. I'm recording something on my other monitor and it's completely froze. That's a problem. I needed sound for that for something. Okay, so Ace is up here. Well, I mean, if you ever wanted to just give a shot at, you know, trying to just talk about games and stuff, you can always just write a document. Start like a WordPress account or something. Put a really, like, free, easy website up and just keep your stuff there. There's like 1,000,001 websites that have just freely host anyone's articles, like GameFAQs. Yeah, I hear you. I'm all about owning the physical media myself. Like, I have 1 or 2 pieces of equipment that emulate stuff, but even then it actually requires the physical hardware to actually run it. But the nice thing is there's stuff like that that'll actually run about as well as the proper stuff, will output to HDMI and has the option of like applying translations and stuff that are untranslated. Which is really great because it means that you can play a lot of weird stuff with relatively no hassle. The biggest problem with that stuff is it's all third party, so their build quality is pretty shaky. Because I know I bought, what is it, the Hyperkin Retron 5, and I bought like 4 of those, and within a couple months' time, each of them broke. And because those are made in like Europe, when I got them, they were already, because of like just delivery times, they were already out of warranty. So I was basically buying them hoping they'd never break, and they always did. Which is why I ended up spending a little bit more to buy the Japanese Retro Freak, which is a little better. Huh. And my Xbox One shut off while I was recording something after it froze. Terrific. Well, you could always do a team sort of thing. You know, sit there, take notes with her. As you play and sort of document your feelings, you could definitely make that your own thing. Aw, Cookie! Stop being mean to them. I like them. That's pretty cool. I don't know a lot about the Raspberry Pi. I actually looked a little bit about them up on, like, eBay, because I thought they were pretty interesting. And I've been trying to, like, look into them, but of course, working off what little funding my channel makes, I could never possibly afford something like that, but they seem like really interesting devices. Yeah, and the RetroPie should be able to emulate at least a few of the basic systems. Uh-oh, gotta find Feldman. I don't know where she is. As I try to desperately restart my recording in the background. That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, there's a few custom cases for the RetroPie, as I understand it. I know you can get stuff like modified like SNES classics that have like the entire library on them and stuff. I know I bought an original Xbox just because I needed to get one because I'd never played one. And it came with like a whole suite of emulation and stuff as well as a bunch of extra stuff for recording. That's pretty impressive if you can get N64 and PlayStation stuff running on stuff like that. I've been told that emulation for stuff like that is really kind of a tricky proposition. I got into the original Xbox like last year. Cookie! Quit doing that! Bad dog. Bad. Stop making people feel sad about themselves. But my original Xbox came with like a whole suite of extra tools and emulation stuff for recording. If I ever wanted to do things that way, although that's not really how I want to do it. Huh. And my controller for the thing I'm recording is busted. That's just awesome. And now you're sad. So we're gonna try this yet again. Huh, is it really that easy? Interesting. I know the Retro Freak has like a similar system, where you basically just create files for everything you want to put on there as well. Oh, close. Oh, god damn it, Cookie. Bad dog. No biscuits for you. You're mean, Cookie. You deserve that. I know I'm trying to get some files onto my Wii to play imports for it, because I got a couple of import Wii games in my last loot video I'm pretty excited about. So, you know, figuring out how to put stuff on SD cards and stuff is certainly an important skill to have. The weird thing is, like, some SD cards work for some things and other things just don't. I know I've got something that's supposed to help, like, Dreamcast stuff record a little bit better on an SD card that you can plug in through, like, the... I think that's a Neo Geo Pocket Color slot, of all things, on the back of the thing. And, you need, like, this weird extra piece of hardware that only recognizes, like, one type of SD card, so I had to buy, like, an extra special SD card for it. Okay. My pockets are full of paper. Huh, interesting. Does the RetroPie have like a startup thing? Because I know my Retro Freak, since it has backups of pretty much every game I have on it, it has like a 15-minute warm-up period before I can actually use it, which is a little... It's really the one thing I don't like about it. Alright, I think we gotta go buy some flowers. Take some tulips. And we shall take some more pansies. So I'm trying to start up another thing with my other hand. That's pretty impressive. I might have to definitely look into getting a RetroPie device at some point when I have money. Although, you know, presently at $13 a month, that's just not in the cards. I've been thinking about trying to get, like, something to do MAME stuff with, because I have a lot of interest in some arcade stuff. And there's just not a lot of way to play too many arcade games outside of, like, very, very set collections. I know, again, my original Xbox had, like, a very small library of MAME stuff on it. That was actually pretty interesting, but... Oh, does it do MAME? Interesting. I might have to, really look into investing into a RetroPie. Oh no! He's coming with us! Or he's gonna hijack the train, or something. I've never seen another villager come up onto the train platforms. That is weird. Okay, I'm hoping that does not freeze this time, because that is not ideal. So I need music for my review. Damn it. Oh, I'm sure it could, but I like to have like an actual like proper dedicated device to hook up to my TV, just as a means of you know, trying to give you like that actual experience of sitting in front of the TV, like actually playing the games. I mean, part of just enjoying games is like the experience of actually just, you know, sitting there and playing it. But I might have to look into getting one of these Raspberry Pi devices. The problem I've found is when I did look them up on eBay a little while ago, all I could find was like little like components to build one yourself, as opposed to like just a standard pre-made type of thing. And as someone who's never built a computer and is terrified of actually trying to fix anything with his own hands, that's a bit terrifying. I know my first Dreamcast had a destroyed disc laser, and I tried to replace it, and I somehow broke it worse. So I had to just go out and buy a new Dreamcast. That's actually not a bad little setup. That actually does sound a lot like the Retro Freak, although I think the Retro Freak is an Android-based system. Okay, so here's about where we were with our garden. Ooh, a link. I'm gonna have to click that. Interesting. Let's see. That's actually not horribly expensive. It's still more than I can currently afford on my $13 a month of donations I'm living off of, but that might actually be a thing I can save for at some point in the future. I might have to seriously consider it because, you know, if that can do PS1 stuff as well as, you know, all that other stuff, that would definitely make life a little bit easier. I know if you can do stuff like PS2, I've got already like 2 PS2s, plus like some stuff from a different region that neither of those can play. So getting like a third-party thing that could run it, even if it's just reading the file, it's certainly something worth considering. I think that was too small for that to be a coelacanth. But that is definitely interesting, and I'm going to have to bookmark that for sure. We got a tiny fish. That's not a coelacanth, though. I don't think we're going to find any more coelacanths today. Oop. Didn't see this before, though. I can actually dig in the right place. Alright, got another fossil. That's frustrating. We are so close to another bank deposit. And yet we're just not quite there. I guess I could have hung around the other time a little longer, but... unless... maybe... the mechanics of the rocks are a little bit weird, though. That's definitely not a coelacanth. That one... if it is, it's rather small for it, but it might be worth checking. It looks like it's on the bigger end of a sea bass, but still. Red snapper. That's actually worth a few bells right there. I mean, Nooks is close right now, but still. I'll take a red snapper. I think that's worth like 2,500. Plunk that there. Plunk that there. Plunk that there. Nothing. Because the magical money rock of destiny will not change until you knock the money out of it for once. And the problem is if it spawns somewhere where I can't get the money out of it anyway, I'm not going to bother for risk of hurting the garden. And because of that, there's a good chance that I'll just never get to enjoy the money rock ever again. And that's annoying because right now I need like 7,000 bells and I can make another bank deposit. And I somehow doubt Pearl's gonna just give that to me. You left a lot of your crap in that previous town. Seriously, I've been delivering it to you for 6 months now, Pearl. Yeah, it looks like it has roughly the same dimensions as the, well, the core bit of the Retro Freak anyway. I mean, there's like a whole console that's attached to it, but that's just a big scanner to scan your games onto it. Which, when I'm on that subject, that is a terrible design choice because it's actually blocking all the heating vents and it actually causes the thing to overheat. Really bizarre choice. But fortunately, it doesn't need the scanner to actually work. It just reads stuff off a memory card eventually. I mean, the only downsides I've found about it are the fact that it, if you put enough games on it, it takes like 20 minutes to start up, and that, well, I ran into this one weird problem where I was just putting a translation onto it, and somehow it erased like half my Game Boy Advance games I had registered for it, which was a little weird. And I just have not had the time to try and reinstate that. I've been meaning to for probably at least a month or so. Maybe 2. Just deliver this. Deliver this. That's pretty cool. I gotta admit. I do like that. That's all of those. Yeah, I definitely think I might have to look into investing in one of those at some point. If it can do like MAME and other stuff. At the very least to cover what the Retro Freak doesn't. For backups and archival stuff. Like, that's part of the reason why I love the Retro Freak over top of, like, the Retron 5. The Retron 5 requires, like, a permanent connection to whatever it's playing, even though it is just a temporary ROM dump. Whereas the Retro Freak, it creates a local copy. So if, like, the scanner were to ever break, you still can play your stuff. Like, that was the biggest issue, is every single Retron 5 I owned, the Super Nintendo slot actually fried on all of them. Which is obnoxious, because I love my Super Nintendo games. Alright, screw it, we're gonna go fishing for a little bit. But the nice thing about the Retro Freak is it also does a bunch of systems the Retron 5 doesn't, like the Master System and the Game Gear and stuff. I am definitely going to have to look more into that, so thanks for the links. I've heard of people doing a lot of, like, really... Hey, zebra! Or barb... I was going to say zebra, tiger, butterfly, or whatever, but no. It's the other thing. It's the zebrafish. But, you know, I've heard of people, like, doing some pretty crazy stuff with, Raspberry Pi devices, so it's really interesting to learn more because, you know, it is a very rudimentary computer system basically, but it's something that's always been beyond me. Interesting. I know one of the links you said like the version 3 was being discontinued in like January. So I'm not sure about any of that, but still, you know, it's a place for me to start looking, and I do appreciate setting me up with the resources to do that, because that was a little overwhelming for me. That might be. Crap. You know, I'm recording audio with my other freaking monitor, and something happens, and that takes my attention away. Got freaking stabbed in the back while just recording audio. Thanks, Assassin's Creed. Ugh. Alright, cool. When I get a few moments, I'll definitely take a look at that. Also, still have to go over your documents of abilities and stuff that you sent me. Although I gave it a quick once-over. Well, the problem was I had 2 controllers for 2 different systems vibrating in my lap. And I realized, oh crap, someone's stabbing me from behind in Assassin's Creed while I'm recording audio. That creates problems. And then I realized, oh crap, the fish I was catching, it's gone now. Also, I have to say, Assassin's Creed Revelations, buggy as all hell, even with like the remake and stuff. I mean, during this stream, it's frozen 3 times for me. It's kind of amazing. Considering I'm pretty sure they like updated and patched it a whole bunch. I still have to do a recording for Pogo Sticks later tonight. Yeah, I noticed we did, but, you know, it was nice for a brief moment to have someone else. Hey, Crucian Carp. Tiny little crap fish worth nothing. I'm gonna go look for coelacanths again. Maybe on the off chance one shows up briefly, that would be nice. Oh, that's right, I gotta put out a couple of videos as well. I mean to put out Pirate Gaming for a little while. Plus have to catch back up on Animal Crossing stuff to put up. And I think there's a gameplay thing that needs to go up as well. Oh, I've got a busy night ahead. But it's nice to take a few moments and just relax with good old Animal Crossing. At least for now. At the end of the year, I'm thinking about maybe doing some RPGs or something. I don't know anything about an HDMI port for the GameCube. I'm using like the standard cable that you can plug into an N64. And I know because one of my cables got stolen, so I have to swap between the 2. That might be a snapper, although I won't be able to tell because my brain just had a fart. Yeah, I don't know. You know, looking at some of these consoles, it's really bizarre some of the ports you can actually find on them. Like, I was looking at my PS2s and I was weirded out that there's like USB slots on them for some reason. And of course, like I mentioned a little while ago, the Dreamcast has a Neo Geo Pocket Color port on it that I think all of Zero Games ever used. There's a snapper. There we go. That's a good way to do it, is to try and get like something with like a built-in splitter that you can sort of just swap on the fly. I know before I had swapped to my new TV, when I had component cables, I had a cable that had like a built-in component that would connect to a Wii, a PS3, but it could be used for PS2 as well as like an Xbox 360. It was like the best cable ever, and now my freaking TV can't use it. Which is why I'm not allowed to ever make PS3 videos again, because stupid HDCP and the fact that I bought 1,000,001 splitters that are supposed to remove it that just don't. Ugh. Ah, that was a big fish too, crap. But I know for basic SD inputs, I just have it all plugged into my Dazzle, which is a one-at-a-time thing. Which is kind of a frustrating thing to deal with, seeing as I've got about a dozen consoles that all require the same inputs, basically. That's pretty impressive. That's a good keyword, if it can do all that. You know, it would probably be cheaper to get something like that than just to try and get some kind of splitter, because from what I can tell, those splitters get really expensive really quickly. Unless you go to, like, AliExpress and order one, like, super cheap from China, and then it probably doesn't work. Like, my most recent attempt at breaking the PS3's HDMI encryption or whatever was a splitter that I ordered from one of those sites, and it was not properly shielded, so I got a really insane shock from it when I tried to use it, and it didn't work, which was great. Stupid sea bass. It's bizarre, like, the range and size these things have. That's pretty impressive. For me, I've got, like, this giant octopus of cords on the floor that I have to kind of sort of try and weave through if I want to ever plug anything in again. And the weird thing is, like, I've set it up, I've cleaned it up, I've, like, made them all very distinct. I wrapped, like, rubber bands around them so that it's more organized, and yet still, like, within 5 minutes, it's a giant mess again. It's really baffling how cords can just tangle up like that with basically no interference in doing so. It is just completely baffling how that works. Gotcha. Hey, another knife job. I'm gonna replace the sea bass with that, because sea bass are worth nothing. That's such a tiny shadow, but the fish I fished up that had that shadow was much bigger. You lied to me, game. That might be a coelacanth. Hoping, hoping, hoping. Probably not. That's worth taking a look. Ah, red snapper. Apparently Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town's getting a remake. I was just looking up something on Harvest Moon on Google earlier, and it's like, they made a remake of it, or at least there's one coming, but all the characters look completely different, and it's like, I'm not sure this can really be considered a remake anymore. You know, Harvest Moon is such a weird series. It used to be so good, and now it just looks like a bunch of phone games that people are putting on consoles. It frustrates me to no end because they were so good. It's frustrating they're so rare and hard to come by, though. Still trying to get an original copy. But I got the N64 one, and that's the important one to me. I don't know what fish that could be. That looks too big to be a... Too big to be a sea bass, but not, like, thick enough to be anything else. Let's find out. Sea bass. I knew it. I will let that go, because I don't need it. Anything down here? Ooh, we might have a good fish. Possibly. We'll never know. Probably a coelacanth. No, I doubt it. That one's too small to be anything but a sea bass. Okay. I think I'll give it one more go around. And then I might call it, because I gotta get back to recording and editing stuff. Still haven't recorded audio for Pogo Stick, whatever now. Plus I have to completely edit Assassin's Creed together. Put that away. I think that's a sea bass for sure. I think it was. Throw that away. If nothing else, we get to listen to the really nice rain music in Assassin's Creed. Animal Crossing. You know, the funny thing is those two games have the exact same initials. So I guess it makes sense that I'd get confused talking about two next to each other. A complete brain fart. Although now I'm just imagining Animal Crossing with Assassin's Creed mechanics and stuff. It'd be interesting for sure. Come on. Okay. Why are you ignoring me, Mr. Fishy? That was probably garbage anyway. You know, things that tend to ever ignore your bobber when it's right in view are like garbage and like really rare fish. I doubt that was a really rare fish. Hey, I'll take another barb knife, Joe. Yes, please. And I shall plunk it away from that. Really want to get rid of that crucian carp, but I also want to get rid of sea bass. Oh well. One will be gone, the other will not. Alright. I think we'll head home and call it an evening. Okay, you have to be better than whatever you are, or whatever a sea bass is, or a crucian carp. And you're gone, stupid fish. I was giving you a chance to become a great fish stick, in place of a very crappy fish becoming a fish stick. And that one was just me not being able to fish. I think that's a crucian carp, I'm not going to bother. Alright. It has been an hour. It's almost 11 p.m. I've got to get back to working on about a million different things for the channel. But I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, follow the stream to know when we go live, because we do this every single night. As well as other stuff when I have the time. I've got one or two other things I'd like to get back into. I know I got to get back into Pokemon at some point. Kicking around the idea of doing Seiken Densetsu 3 if I find some time, because I had a lot of fun with that. But you can see other videos about stuff like that on my YouTube channel, along with over 1,000 other videos waiting just for you. And if you really want to make my day, check out the show's PayPal or Patreon. Support the show any way you can so that I can continue to do what I do to the best of my ability, which in this case is still be stalked by a creepy stalker gnome and catch nothing but sea bass, except for that one time where I caught a coelacanth, which was awesome. Plus, so get yourself on the Discord where we can talk about awesome things such as catching coelacanth and how creepy the lawn gnomes in this game are, because seriously, just weird stalker lawn gnomes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace out, Internet.